Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching our video on Decision Making by Design in our Graduate Student Life Design Workshop series. I'm Tracy Garner, and I'm a Life Design Coordinator with the Life Design Center at the College of Charleston. These videos are slightly edited versions of our live hybrid workshops. You won't be able to interact with others, but you will be able to get a taste of what we do at the live workshops. We typically hold workshops in hybrid format from 12 to 1 every other Friday over Zoom and in the Life Design Lab, tape 129, as well as over Zoom one Wednesday per month from 6 to 7 p.m., both of these during the academic year. I also offer live one-on-one coaching either in person or over Zoom if that's something you're interested in as well. So today, we'll be introducing you to the concept of decision making and how we can import life design principles into decision making to help you make more effective decisions more confidently. Finally, we'll apply that to Odyssey plans and then help you select a prototype so that you can start moving along your path. Today, we're going to experiment with life design tools to approach career decisions. You can also apply this framework to make other life decisions as well. Instead of hunting for the one perfect path, we'll expand our options, reframe challenges, and identify small and safe experiences to test our ideas. Please choose one real question you're facing right now. Something like whether you're to stay in academia or move to industry, if you'd like to change your research focus, or which role you would like to pursue after graduation. You'll use this as your case throughout this video. Oftentimes, career or other dilemmas present themselves as an either or a yes no issue where there are only two choices. Life design, however, invites us to expand the frame to consider many wonderful opportunities. So let's try it. Take the next few minutes to reflect individually. Write down your chosen question in its current form. It's probably going to look something like, should I do A or B, or should I do A or not? Now, think of two different ways to reframe this. Some examples include, how might I do both but at different times? Or how might I try A without closing off access to B later on? Or what would option C look like? Once you've done that, what did you notice when you reframed your problem? Did your problem feel more open or playful or possible, or did you notice something else? Instead of searching for the one right future, let's imagine several possible ones. Non-designers have a tendency to think there's only one plan that's the right plan, the best one, or the only one. Some other folks might think, okay, plan A is the really good plan. This is the one I'm super excited about. Plan B is the backup, and then plan C is the one I really don't want, but if it's absolutely necessary, I'll accept it as tolerable. How many of you think this way? How many of you would rather have several plan A's, several plans that you're super excited about all at once? Instead of prematurely committing to one path, if you start with multiple ideas in parallel, your mind stays more open and able to receive and conceive more novel innovations. One study showed that someone starting with three plan A's in parallel is able to generate more ideas than someone starting with just one plan A. The problem with starting with just one plan A is that you might be susceptible to tunnel vision. You get stuck on one plan, and if that doesn't work out, you don't know what to do with yourself. Another issue is that a lot of people just recycle the same idea over and over, never really innovating. You'll see this a lot of times when you see people say, well, I wouldn't mind being a project engineer at Google or Meta or OpenAI, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. While the settings are different, the core idea, which is being a project engineer, isn't really different. So starting with just one plan A means you're recycling the same idea over and over, never really innovating. In design thinking, ideation helps us go for volume because you choose better when you have lots of good and different ideas to start from. Remember, if your mind starts with multiple ideas in parallel, you're not prematurely committed to one path, and your mind stays more open and able to conceive of more novel innovations. Odyssey canvases are sketches of possibilities for life plans. These can animate your imagination and help you choose which direction to take in order to start prototyping and living your next life. This can entail different paths to one ending or many different endings with corresponding paths. The important thing is that every Odyssey plan will be a plan A, something you're truly excited to live. I'll link to Odyssey plan worksheets in the description below and on our hub. You'll see a 5-year timeline right here. You see year one, year two, year three, year four, year five. I'd like you to plot out 3 different versions of your 5-year timeline and include for each year at least one personal milestone and one academic or professional milestone for each plan. Finally, come up with a 6-word title for each plan that captures the essence of that plan and think about some questions that arise for you as you're completing each plan. You'll craft 3 different futures for yourself within the next 5 years. Life one's going to be your current plan, the one you're currently carrying out. Life two will be what would happen. What's your backup if life one is no longer an option for whatever reason? And then finally, life three is the wild idea. I want you to release all constraints such as money, image, status, resources, obligations, whatever. So here are some examples. You've got one version of an Odyssey plan where somebody wants to open a nonprofit to help children. And then you've got another one where somebody wants to open up a consultancy where they're helping women personally brand themselves. Once you've completed those Odyssey plans, just reflect on them a little bit. Which Odyssey plan feels most alive for you, most doable? Which one seems to open up most possibilities? And did anything surprise you about your own plans? Let's compare these Odyssey plans and let's start making decisions. A decision matrix allows us to compare various options visually by considering different factors of options that are important to you and plotting out the level of agreement or existence of that factor for that particular option. Remember, these are useful for making decisions in a variety of domains, not just your career. Here's a blank decision matrix. I'll link to one in the description below and on our hub site. List the end result of your Odyssey plans up here along the top, option A, option B, option C. Then list your objectives or factors to consider along the left side of the grid. If you get stuck, consider what pros you might include on a pros or cons list and try to generalize these. So if you would put good pay on a pros list, list salary here. If you would put on the beach on a pros list, list ideal location here. For our career example, I might have developed Odysseys for being a policy analyst, being an assistant professor, and being a postdoc. Some things you might want to consider when making that decision include values alignment, potential for growth, job security or stability, and work-life balance. Don't limit yourself to these, however. If more other things are more important for you, list them as well, or instead of what I've listed here. Don't list too many though, because otherwise you'll get overwhelmed. You might want to just pick the best or the most important 4 or 5 of those. You'll then fill in the information inside the grid here by using shaded circles, emojis, or check mark plus minus X to indicate your level of excitement, goodness, amount, whatever for each of those cells. Option A might be really high on values alignment, so I might put a check mark or a smiling, grinning emoji here, but middle on growth potential, so I might put a 0 or a half shaded circle or the emoji with the straight line for the mouth here. And then low on stability, I would put a minus or a red sign or something like that. On the other hand, option B might rank somewhere in the middle for values alignment, potential for growth, and stability. Once you're done filling in all those blanks, take note of which plans score high in which areas and which plans score low in which areas. If when you're filling out the individual cells, you have trouble making a decision where it lies, that's a sign that you need further information and you might need to go back to iterate possible ways to find out the information you need to make an informed decision. If I don't know what work-life balance would be for option C, I might want to conduct an informational interview with someone who does that work and find that out. If you notice one particular option that scores high on all metrics, that's probably the one you want to explore. If you see one that scores consistently low on all those metrics, you can safely eliminate that one. And if one of your criteria has the same level for all three options, so if all three options here are middle of the road for values alignment, don't use that criterion to make your decision. Take some time, fill that out, and just take note of any patterns you see. Did you notice any particular patterns that surprised you? And did anything else particularly stand out for you? Now that you've narrowed down your options, let's go ahead and just pick an option to stress test and convert barriers and opportunities for data gathering. Please note you're not making a final move. The idea of prototyping is that it's just a small, safe option. You can always back out at any time. You're not going ahead and taking a job and signing a 5-year contract. All you're doing is, I'll conduct an informational interview and find out some more about this. Choose the Odyssey plan that scored best for you on your decision matrix. And for anything that scored neutral or lower, reframe this into a question for exploration. So if you marked on your decision matrix that job security was low, let's reframe the idea that this job isn't very secure to something like, how might I increase my sense of security if I took this position? And remember, this isn't locking you into choosing that particular thing. You're just reframing those concerns that you have in such a way that might help you open up other opportunities that might make that more doable. Once you've reframed those questions that came up for you as a result of your decision matrix, go ahead and develop one concrete next step to test it or gather data to answer that question. For that question about job security, you might schedule an informational interview and talk to somebody and just raise that concern. I hear this particular field isn't particularly stable right now. What can you tell me about that? Remember, the most effective prototypes are cheap, accessible to you, don't require a lot of commitment, and are easy to carry out within a short period of time. So has this piqued your interest and you want some more information? Check our hub site booted for more resources. You can attend another workshop or watch some more videos, or you can contact me for one-on-one coaching. And here's my contact information in case you'd like to contact me directly. Thank you for sharing this time with me on our video, and we look forward to seeing you next time.